The Krothax war beast had killed 3,000 soldiers across 12 worlds. Plasma cannons melted its hide. It regenerated. Psionic dampeners drove it to rage. Kinetic rounds bounced off like raindrops. The Galactic Council's final solution: evacuate Colony 7 and Orbital, strike the entire continent into glass. One human was about to prove there was another way. Then Dr. Sarah Martinez stepped off the transport shuttle, unarmed. "You have 30 seconds before we leave." Commander Vex Thor clicked through his translator, his four eyes blinking in disbelief. "That thing has torn through battle mechs. What exactly do you think you're going to accomplish?" Sarah adjusted her worn jacket and looked toward the ruins where the beast had made its den. Smoke still rose from yesterday's failed assault. "Every aggressive animal is just scared or in pain, Commander. You've been treating it like a weapon. I'm going to treat it like what it actually is." "And what's that?" "A victim." The alien commander's mandibles twitched, the Kryn equivalent of a bitter laugh. "Humans, you domesticated wolves into lapdogs and think you can befriend anything with teeth. This isn't some Earth predator. This is a genetically engineered killing machine." Sarah started walking toward the ruins. "We turned wolves into corgis. We made friends with apex predators for 40,000 years. We domesticated cats that didn't even want to be domesticated. And you know what the secret is, Commander? Enlighten me. We don't conquer nature. We become part of it." She was about to stake her life on that belief. The beast's roar shook the ground. Before she'd gone 50 meters, Sarah's heart hammered against her ribs. But she kept her breathing steady. Fear was chemical. Animals could smell it, taste it in the air. She thought about her grandfather's ranch, about the abused rescue horse everyone said was too dangerous to approach. She'd spent 3 months sitting outside its stall, just being present, before it let her touch its nose. She didn't have 3 months. The war beast emerged from the collapsed building, like a nightmare given form. 4 meters tall at the shoulder, covered in overlapping obsidian plates that gleamed like oil. 6 legs ending in claws that had carved through starship hulls. A head that was all teeth and burning amber eyes. Scars crisscrossed its body. Burn marks, blade wounds, chemical burns. A lifetime of pain written in scar tissue. Behind her, she heard weapons charging. "Stand down," she said quietly into her comm. "Nobody fires unless I'm already dead." The beast stalked forward, low to the ground, muscles coiling. 30 meters. 20. The smell hit her. Ozone and blood and something acrid, chemical. Whatever the Krothax had done to create this thing, it wasn't natural. It wasn't right. 10 meters. What happened next would shock every witness. Sarah knelt. The beast stopped, confused. Prey didn't kneel. Prey ran. Its massive head tilted, amber eyes narrowing. "I know," Sarah said softly. "I know it hurts. I know they made you into something you never asked to be." The beast's growl rumbled through the ground, but it didn't charge. Sarah slowly reached into her pack and pulled out a canteen. She poured water into her cupped hand and extended it forward, arm steady despite every instinct screaming to run. "You're thirsty. When's the last time anyone gave you clean water?" The beast's nostrils flared. It took one step forward, then another. Its breath was hot and reeked of decay. This close, Sarah could see the neural implants embedded in its skull. The chemical injection ports along its spine. They've been pumping it full of combat stimulants, pain suppressors, rage inducers. For how long? Years? Its entire life? The beast's tongue, rough and gray, lapped at the water in her palm. In that moment, centuries of galactic military doctrine became obsolete. Sarah didn't move, didn't breathe, just let it drink. When the water was gone, she slowly raised her other hand and placed it on the beast's scarred muzzle. The scales were warm, almost hot. She could feel the tremor running through its massive frame. Not aggression, exhaustion. "Sit," she whispered. The war beast, the Galactic Council's nightmare, the killer of thousands, sat. Behind her, Sarah heard Commander Vex Thor's translator glitch out in shock. She ran her hand along the beast's jaw, feeling for the neural implant access points. "I'm going to need a medical team." Xenovet specialists if you have them. This thing's been tortured for years. The implants are infected. It's probably in constant agony. You're saying it kills because it's in pain? I'm saying it kills because that's all it's ever known. Pain and commands and more pain. Sarah looked into those amber eyes and saw intelligence. Awareness. A mind trapped inside a body weaponized against its will. On Earth, we learned something a long time ago. The most dangerous animals aren't the predators. They're the ones we've hurt and expected not to fight back. The beast leaned its massive head against her shoulder. 3,000 dead, and here it was, seeking comfort from the first being in its existence that had offered kindness instead of violence. What do we do with it? Vexthor asked quietly. Sarah smiled. First, we get those implants out. Then we give it a name. How about Ash? The beast, Ash, made a sound that wasn't quite a growl, almost like a purr, if a purr could shake your bones. Then we find the other war beasts the Krot hacks deployed, and we save them too. The Council will never approve. The Council was going to glass an entire continent. I just saved you the ammunition. Sarah paused. They'll demand you file charges against me for insubordination, won't they? Vexthor's mandibles clicked softly. I'll tell them you saved us from becoming war criminals. Sarah stood, and Ash stood with her, staying close to her side. Besides, you're going to need new security for the colony. I can't think of better guards than creatures who finally understand what they're protecting. 3 months later, Ash lay in the grass outside Colony 7's primary school. A little girl threw a ball, and 4 tons of bioengineered death loped after it with something like joy. The galaxy's most feared predator had finally learned what it meant to be loved, and watching from the school window, Commander Vexthor finally understood why the humans had inherited the stars.